Well, hi folks. Once again, thank you for getting a hold of us. As you probably figured out, the comments and people getting a hold of us dictate a lot of these videos. But I also want to keep you in the loop on the progression of this horse I'm sitting on. We've been videoing her ever since I got her, pretty much. So what I want you to notice is that I'm starting to get a breakthrough on forward collection. I've just started asking very little. But the important thing to note is her mouth is still bothered. It has nothing to do with the bit. It's her mind. It's an old habit of feeling anxiety towards her mouth because she'd been pulled on too much. That's going to disappear, and it's not on me. It's on her. What's on me is to ride well. So, how well can you present yourself to your horse? That's how you start your day. Understand that she's breaking at the withers now. She still has her nose too far out for me to have her the balance I want. That's why she's still in the snaffle. I'll show you exactly what I mean. To test yourself when you're moving right along with this, if you back a horse up, she's backing up off my seat now. Alright, now watch me. With one hand, I have to pull too hard to get her nose. So now with two hands and low, I can get her nose. That's why she's still in the snaffle. And if I don't give the rein back, then I will be shooting myself in the foot. So it's a very simple test. I'll do the same thing when I'm side passing. Now, forward collection. I want you to watch her mouth. And I talked about the position of your hands as 1, 2, or 3. And I move my hands according to what I've got going. Right there is where I want her. Right there. When I turn this way, I can see her mouth right on my mirror on the ground over there. It's called a shadow. This is nothing more than a bad habit she's got to get rid of. And she will. To stop, I exhale. The reverse now, I just set up my spine. Now, hopefully you can hear that cricket when she walked backwards now. Before, you never heard it because she was pushing with her tongue. This is what I'm explaining to you, is that the tongue protects the mouth. Everybody always talks about the bars, but the fact is the tongue is that big fat muscle that's her only way of saving her life, and that's why tongues get cut with pitiful bits and riders. So the loop and the rein and the intentional steps backwards. All I'm doing is correcting the skull now to get it where I need it to be. Now, as you look at this rein, picture a western bit with a cheek piece on the side. When I pick up on that rein, it's going to be this much below the mouth. That's where the leverage comes in. So then when I pick up at this angle, with one hand, the curve of the cheek piece is what puts the horse in collection. Now I'm going to freeze my hand on the saddle horn and you can watch what happens. That's her searching. I'll show you later on, but when I put a curb bit on this horse and I pick up my rein, it's going to lift the horse. You literally lift him off the front weight and put the weight on the back. It's very subtle. And you'll notice I never do anything at a dead run and sliding and all that. That's what ruined the horse in the first place. I have the opportunity to take my time. Now bear in mind, working on a ranch full time, you're usually running with your hat in your hand. Somebody cuts you a piece of country and about $1 million inventory and says, now you really need to take care of these till we ship. Okay, so the idea of getting collection, the perfect nose and all that kind of goes out the window because you're there to punch cows. And it's too bad, but that's the way it is. The couple outfits that don't think that way, that take the time to make their horses, the only way you get hired on is if somebody dies. So I'm going to side pass now. And the reason for the logs, it's a tangible item that the horse knows and can feel on their heel bulbs. The poles are round. You don't use a railroad tie or a square anything because it doesn't work the theory-wise. These are round and where they hit the ground, that's about the same height that the heel bulb's going to hit them. I want them to hit their heel bulb, though, then they'll quit backing up. The object is to get the horse to side pass on a loose rein, left and right. So now I ask, I look, open my right leg, drop my left seat bone, roll my foot, and oh, by the way, I'm working on collection, and oh, by the way, I'm side passing. So my mind has to focus on both things. How well can I give my rein back? How well can my horse side pass? I exaggerate at first. I lean so that the horse, there's no doubt in its mind which direction I'm asking for. Now, this is the second time I've worked on this exercise. Pay attention to her feet and the pole, and how much contact there is with the pole. I purposely put her front feet right in front of the pole. I don't put her in the middle, and I don't put her hind feet up against it. This is for schooling. Now, if you have a horse that's constantly running forward through your hands, just move them up here. They don't like hitting that pole. When it's all done, you'll have your stirrup directly over the pole, and you'll get your side passing. And the way it works is that side passing is a no-brainer, as we all know. And what I do is I try to focus on my hands and see how good I can get my timing to get this horse's head correct. And oh, by the way, I need you to walk sideways. And then when you can, I'd like you to cross your leg. I can hear when they step on their foot. I can hear when they bump their cannon bone. Now bear in mind that when you take the poles away, if the horse is settled in their brain, they'll cross over in the front and the back pretty nice, really, because they're not worried. This is just so that they don't get in the habit of reaching behind all the time. It's no different than the fence. There's no opening of the hands. There's none of that. You don't need that. Keep your horse straight. There. Now, veins are coming up. I can hear the breathing. I've told you about the throat choking down the throat. The muscles choking the throat down where you can hear them breathe. Sound like a lunger in the bunkhouse about 3 a.m. Cowboys don't need alarm clocks. You got these old rosin-jawed lungers that wake up every morning, get a cigarette, and start hacking. Okay. My friend Kurt in Wyoming said hello, and I want to tell him a big hello back. He's a really good guy. And he was one of those cowboys that was always thinking. In fact, he invented a couple things, and I think it's pretty darn commendable. So thanks, Kurt. And for those of you that know him, John Hampton has surfaced. I've lost touch with him for the last 20 years. And I found out he was in Nebraska, and I'm not sure which way he's headed. But anyway, he is alive and well, so that'd be nice to hear from him. The advantage of these videos we're doing, I'm getting to reconnect with a whole bunch of people I worked with over the years and find out who's still standing. So it's pretty nice. Now, there's teaching and there's drilling. If you spend 2 hours doing this, you're drilling. If you spend 20 minutes with it, you're teaching. If you spend 2 minutes with it and your horse does it really nice, leave. Let them know that there's a reward here. It's all about looking for the release. The best release you can give a horse when they do this well is to leave. And folks in Mansfield, Victoria, Australia, I've got to hear from some folks in Australia, and if you haven't been to Australia, you need to go. Country's beautiful, but the main thing is it's got some of the neatest people you'll ever run into. One of the reasons they're good in what they do is because there's no whinging. They're tough. If you ask them to go do anything, it's, well, get into it. They don't whine. They're just good, hard-working people. And the folks in Mansfield, if you remember me, I'm the one that got on that big Clyde, and it was kind of a turning point in my life. So if you're still around, say hello if you would. I'd sure like to hear from you. Now you see this skull and mouth, and the horse is doing this. That's those muscles. All I got to do is ride as best I possibly can, and that's going to let go. The horse is going to let go of that. Now, same with side pass is the same as any exercise. Whenever you feel like it, pick up your rein and ask your horse to side pass. Now be aware of the skull. Now I can help the horse better with two hands still to get that frame I'm looking for. But when this horse goes home, it's going to be in a western bit. And the other day I showed you two bits, and I said the horse will go home in one or the other, and somebody asked me how I decide. Well, what I was telling you was the guy that owns the horse has to decide if he wants to go cheap or high end. It's just a matter of the cost of the two different bits. That's why I said that. Now, this horse is 12. It's not 2. You don't do this with a 2-year-old this long. And once again, the brain of the horse. I'm relaxed. I'm going to reach for the reins. I want you to focus on the ears of this horse. That's how sensitive horses are. Check in, no brain, checked in. Bump, side pass. All I'm doing is changing seat bones. Bringing in my spur and drop my seat bone. Leaning, almost, there's the spur. Drop my seat bone, here it comes. Rolled my calf, didn't need my spur that time. Now, as I'm walking, I'm just going to switch seat bones. Open the off leg. Feet got stuck, help them out. Feet got stuck, don't worry, don't run off. Stick around. I'm asking the horse to pay more attention to me. I need you to listen. Thank you. You see that hesitation? If you ride and you're a fair leader, that's on the horse to figure out, not you. You're offering the same deal every time. In time, they'll just say, okay, I got it. Whatever it is you want to do, I got it. I got it. Now, don't worry about it, okay? It all comes together in time. If you're in a hurry, go do something else. And a lot of these exercises, to me, might seem very subtle or simple. Well, they are, but that's the point. Folks have asked me about loping and turning rollbacks and turning around. That's coming. But I'll guarantee the horse I'm sitting on, if I did it, I could get it done, but all I do is set myself backwards a couple months that I put a lot of time into. I'm still cowboying on her, walk, trot, and lope outside, but I'm not going to ask for anything that she isn't mentally prepared to do. Now, mentally prepared means she's at the point where I feel in my heart I can ask her to do more and take her through the tunnel. In other words, I'm not going to wait till she's 20. I'm going to feel it, and then I'm going to say, okay, I need you to do this much more. Do this much more. One or two things will happen. She'll absolutely lose her mind, or she'll go ahead and give it to me. Well, if she loses her mind, I'm just going to back up and say, well, you know what? You do know how to side pass. Let's just do that. I'll ease it into her. And we'll get it done. But I think you're getting the moral of the story here is if you're in a big hurry, this doesn't work, what I do. Go down and buy all the mechanical things you need and get her done. But that's just not how I want to do it. And I think people that appreciate horses have fun taking your time. I enjoy it. I don't care. Let a horse be a horse, you know. I had a lady tell me one time, he's always looking around. Well, that's why they're called a prey animal. The feet don't move, the head can move. That's what horses do. Horses are long vision animals. We happen to live on the side of a hill. They'll raise their head up so they can see a long ways. That's how they've lived through all these generations. So there again, when you ride a horse and put their head down on the ground and call it Western pleasure, you've just taken away a big part of a prey animal's survival instinct. It's called brain dead. That's why I want my horses up and looking around. And oh, by the way, that's what puts them on the hindquarter. Thank you.